Communication Friendly Spaces Approach. I am Miss Mustari. I'm a Year 1 teacher and I teach at Ysgol Bryn. So my vision for the project was to make the children feel confident and relaxed and happy in the classroom, but also have spaces for them to be able to talk and communicate easily, and obviously places where they were ready to learn. And then I wanted the areas of the classroom to feel cosy and comfortable, homely and welcoming, calm areas, but also areas where children could move, and have organised, stimulating, engaging, accessible and interesting areas of the classroom as well. So I started looking at my space in the classroom, and one of the first things I had to think about was were there places for children and adults to sit down comfortably, and there was. So I have a nice horseshoe table for focused tasks, which makes it easy for me to help the children because I'm facing them. I was also happy with my snack table because it was a circle, so again the children could communicate, talk, chat while they're having their snack. And my creative area I was quite happy with because it was a nice big table, but again children all facing each other, and that was working really well. I also did have comfortable areas, so I had a book area and a calm area with rugs and cushions already. And my construction area was quite a nice area where the children could build on the floor. But what I did notice that there was no low level seating with a table, so that was something that I wanted to look at. So the next area I wanted to look at was how the classroom felt visually. Was it overwhelming? Was there too much visual clutter? So I have always had a really bright classroom, bright displays, bright furniture, bright resources, and that's something that I've always done. So then was it time to think about maybe muting the colours a little bit? So the next thing to think about was their soft, comfortable areas in class, to offer learners to relax and engage in something quietly, something of their choice. And yes, I did have 2 areas in class. So I had a reading area and calm area, which were both areas where the children had space and time to reflect. And these were really quick fixes really, because all I had to do was change the colours slightly in the banners to make it feel more calm. Before, the banners were quite brightly coloured banners, so I changed those and worked quite well. So the next thing to think about was that places in your classroom that you weren't using in the best way that you could, and as part of the course we were given some new resources, so I had to think about where in my classroom I wanted to put them. So most areas of my classroom were taken up with well-defined areas already. So I looked at where I was putting my milk for the snack, which is on the picture on the left. And then I thought to myself there was no reason why those milks couldn't be put on a table. And then underneath, the shelves were used for like straws and clean and things. So again, not the best use of a space. So the snack area was moved, and then I instead put the new baskets with the loose parts in, and added books. So that was my starting point really, where I started with the new resources. So once the children started in September, this area was very, very popular. This was the area where I wanted it to be a bit more open-ended, because in the other areas that I enhanced there was often a challenge and something for I'd lead the children on what I wanted them to do, but here in the loose parts I wanted it to come from the children, and it just worked really well. And I think the middle photo is really nice because you can see the way the children are sat, that they're communicating, they're talking. Obviously they've used their imagination, and where this area is right next to my focus table, so again I'm able to listen to the children, and then I'm able to use their ideas and their pupil voice and feed that into my planning. So yeah, it was a success right from the start. So next I started to think about the light in my classroom, thinking about whether I have enough natural light and is there a calm atmosphere. So I was quite lucky because I do have one big window where the natural light comes through, I always have the blinds open fully and the windows are open for ventilation. Previously I did used to put display things up on the window, but I've taken all that down now so that the natural light can come through. I gave the windows a little bit of a clean as well, just to make it really nice and bright. And then all I had to do was add some soft lights to my displays just to make a calm atmosphere. And then my actual classroom lights, the ceiling lights, are very bright, so what I quite often do is turn one off, just especially when I'm doing things like a story or when we're doing things to calm down. But then if sometimes I do have both lights on as well. So the next thing I thought about was colour, and this is probably the biggest change that I made, so using colour in a more targeted way. So from the first slide you saw that my classroom was very, very colourful, displays were colourful, so that's obviously the picture on the left, and then the new display and area is on the right. So again, using much more warmer colours. I've got my lights on there, natural resources and the loose parts area, and that display is a working wall, so the children use it when they're writing. I display my high frequency words up there, they have their targets up there, so I just didn't want it to be too overwhelming, so I thought if I make the colours a little bit more natural, and so far again it's been working well. So the next area I thought about was our outdoor area, and in terms of the course I felt like this was probably the area that was well developed already. We have all the natural resources, it's very open-ended, have lots of areas where the children can build. You can see the photo on the bottom right with the den. They're motivated to explore, they can solve problems, they have lots of physical challenges out there. So there wasn't much we needed to do to this area. We just enhance it now and again and pick things up. So I think at the time I picked up some extra cable drums, which you can see in the picture. But the outdoors we didn't really need to change a lot. So here are some more after photos of the classroom. So the photo on the left is my main phonics display, again with all the natural colours, pastel colours, muted it all down, the natural lights. It's a working wall. I replaced brightly coloured tables with baskets. The photo on the far right is the loose parts area again, but you can see the rug, which is where the children actually do everything on there, and because they spend so long building, they get to keep that up all day. We don't have to tidy it up every day. And the middle photo is just to show a quick fix really. So I had brightly coloured boxes in my writing area with all the different resources, and rather than replace all the boxes I've just stuck some brown paper at the front with labels that are more natural. So it's just using colour again in a targeted way. So this is my maths area where I did make changes. So the photo on the left is the photo before, so you can see brightly coloured boxes. The top of the cabinet was covered in white colour. Brightly coloured resources and SmartyPan targets in the back, which were bright as well. So then the after photo, I just bought 3 more black boxes so that they were all the same colour. Stripped the top of the cabinet back to wood and then put all natural labels on everything. But I did keep my fish bowls, kept lots of the mass resources that were already there, but then I just filled some of them with more natural open-ended resources like lolly sticks, like counters. And then the photo in the middle with the cable drum is the maths area. So previously that was a bright yellow table with 6 bright yellow chairs. It was all very squashed, the children couldn't really sit round it easily. So this is where I decided I wanted to put my table, so we'd have an area where the children could sit but with a table. So I put the rug there, the cushions, changed the resources to a bit more natural. So that's quite a nice area now. And then just on the right are my new learner leaves. So we changed it from Smarty Pants, which you can see in the before picture. And you know, the display was quite cluttered and you couldn't really see. So I've moved it onto my door now. So this is the only door and window that I put display things on. And it's at the child's level, so they can see what their maths target is and practice it easily in the maths area. So the impact that the changes have had, First of all, on the children, you know, they definitely noticed when I changed the displays, started changing the areas, they commented on it, they were asked about it. I've asked them how it makes them feel, and they've all said positive things. From my perspective, I feel like I've got communication-rich areas of the classroom which provide wide and varied experiences. The class that I had this year were quite challenging when they were in reception, but I feel their behaviour has definitely improved. You know, they're a lot calmer. My ALN children seem more calm and settled. And yeah, so I feel like there's a broad range of natural and open-ended resources. Like I've said previously, the loose parts is a really popular area where the children get to use their imagination, create things, follow their interests. And with the displays, me changing them to much warmer colours just means I've still got my working walls that the children use, but are hopefully not that overpowering anymore. So on our first training day back in school, I fed back the course to everybody, and everybody has taken parts of it on board, which has been lovely to see. So these are just some photos from the other Year 1 classroom, because we do everything quite consistently. So again, she's changed her displays in line with mine, using her natural materials. And here are some photos of a junior classroom. So it's the Year 4 classroom. So you can see the photo on the left. She's got some lovely, cosy, comfortable areas which are for reading. So she's put one right on the windowsill. So we've got all the natural light coming in, very comfortable, lovely colours. And when speaking to the Year 4 teacher, she said, similar to my loose parts area, she said, you know, it was a really popular area where the children all wanted to go. So our next steps, really, we have a STEM room in school that we are developing, so we're hoping to use all the ideas from the course there. And then I would say that it is about having a balance. You know, we do have a lot of colour in classrooms still, but it's just always revisiting the vision regularly, see what's working and what's not.